Hey guys, what is up? Phoenix here. I'm back again in EFT, and today's less about the game and more about the channel. So I'm jumping in onto customs with just a hatchet, and I'll explain in a second. So two questions I get asked relatively frequently. One, what are my system specs? And two, why don't I render in 60 frames per second? So we'll touch on the system specs, and then we'll touch on the frames per second. So my system is an i7 7700K, an Acer Strix 1080 Ti with 11 gig of RAM, and 16 gig of DDR4 Corsair 2400 MHz RAM, and an SSD. So overall, a pretty decent system, pretty beefy, and pretty happy with it. But that leads us into why I don't render at 60 frames per second. So whilst in most other games I can get a solid 60 on Ultra without too much issue, when it comes to Tarkov, I'm on customs, and as you can see, I'm getting anywhere from 40 to 60 to 70 frames per second. It varies and it goes up and down a lot, and I mean a lot. Oh goddamn! And kind of the major thing in regards to why I don't render at 60 frames per second is that in order for it to effectively render at 60 and for it to actually make a difference, I need to be getting at least 60 frames per second. I mean, I'm getting that now, and I'm getting that pretty solidly now. But that varies a lot. Like, this is a good raid. Sometimes on factory I'll get 30. And you've seen it in the videos. I've bitched about it multiple times when my FPS just drops to fucking nothing in factory. And that all comes down to the game's optimization. So at the end of the day, if I could get a solid 60 frames per second in Tarkov, why is this open? I would render at 60 frames per second. But unfortunately, because the way the game works and is so poorly optimized, that's just not feasible because I don't get 60 frames per second. So if I were to render out footage at 60 FPS, when I'm not getting 60 FPS, one of two things will happen. You'll notice no difference whatsoever, or it will slow it down because it is stretching 2 frames to, you know, where there should be a frame. So it's just going to increase the render time, increase the file size, the upload time, and make the videos look worse, or it will do nothing. So ultimately, it's better to just leave it at 30 for the time being. However, with optimizations coming at some point, if I can maintain a solid 60 frames per second, then I will render in 60 frames per second. In addition to that, in the next month or so, fingers crossed, if I can manage to finance properly, I will buy myself a new monitor running at a 2K resolution, which will mean that videos will be upped in resolution. It'll again be running at 30 frames per second, because if I can't get 30 FPS at if I can't get 60 FPS on 1080, there's no way I'm getting it at, 2K. So, while there will not be 60 FPS footage anytime soon because of the way the game's optimized, I will at the very least be increasing the resolution soon. So anyway guys, thank you for watching. Hope I managed to clear up some points. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, queries, doubtful points, chuck them in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.